Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. We're here with a quick battle replay with myself taking the Empire facing up against a High Elf opponent. So let's go ahead and jump straight to the army compositions. You can see, as you can see from the Templehof Luminarch here, I've brought this super laser cannon here. The Luminarchs in general did get some buffs. It seems they're more accurate at long range. They also have a few different abilities. One of their abilities got changed out for this aura of protection. I think they used to have like an area of effect magic resistance or something, but now it's a similar effect to the Phoenixes and the Regiment of Renown Spearmen for the High Elves. It's an aura of protection, 12% damage resistance in an area of effect. We've also got the Locus of Hysh, which for map-wide, for every enemy caster, it reduces the power recharge rate. And of course, Net of Ammontok, being the Regiment of Renown Luminarch. So yeah, that's the Templehof Luminarch. In terms of the rest of the army composition, we've got the Hammer of Witches, which since the line of sight bugs have mostly been fixed, this thing's a very good pick, I think, against the High Elves. Magic damage, very long range. We've also got 3 units of Reiksguard. One of them is the Zintler's Reiksguard. Silver Bullets, a unit of handgunners as well in the back line, and then the rest is just State Troop Spearmen, with Volkmar the Grim leading the army. Yes, indeed, Volkmar is pretty decent against the High Elves. He's got regeneration, his cart makes him reasonably tricky to pin down, and he can do a lot of shock damage. Likewise, he can take banishment. And he's also got the Grand Shield of Faith and the Jade Griffin. We've cut everything else. And then the Light Wizard here also has Net of Ammontok and another banishment. So looking to unleash the double banishment, double Net of Ammontok. Definitely going to be a lot of fun. For my opponent's army, he's got 2 Illyrian Reavers hidden here in the corner. And then his force is going to be led by Alith Anar here, standing in the back line, looking very, very cool. He's got a unit of Sisters of Avalorn with the Handmaiden, with 1 Handmaiden of the Everqueen. We've got another unit of Sisters of Avalorn, Pure Main Company, whole mess of Spearmen, and then 2 White Lions to the flanks. We've also got a Mage of High Magic. Let's take a look at her spell loadout. She's got Apotheosis, Soul Quench, Tempest, and Fiery Convocation. So quite a large kit there for that caster. And that's pretty much it. Relatively straightforward and tight High Elf army. So you can see the Hammer of Witch is going to be kicking off shots, and oh man, just clips that mage right in the face. Takes out a few of those Sisters of Avalorn as well. And oh man, despite the fact that cannons are not a quote-unquote anti-infantry artillery piece, they can still do a lot of damage, especially when the infantry are all ranked up like this. And you can bet that Pure Main Company is definitely regretting his life decisions up to this point. So yeah, doing a nice amount of damage so far. You can see my opponent's Illyrian Reavers kind of maneuvering around the back line, looking for an opening to try and get in on some of these skirmishers here. He has discovered the Silver Bullets, who do have stock. I'm trying to move up the Luminarch to get within shots, but the Luminarch has a hard time getting line of sight on infantry characters when they're in a big blob like this, especially because there's a lot of small kind of hills and ridges that are hard to see. So Alith Anar and the Handmaiden, I believe, both are poking away at this Templehof Luminarch, and that's a very good target for them with their armor-piercing missiles. It's a relatively big target, so I'm not sure if we'll even be able to see any of their missiles incoming, but you see that aura of protection going off on those spearmen there. Oh, there's an arrow coming from somebody. A clean miss there, but the Templehof is starting to take some damage, so we're going to move up, see if we can't get a shot or 2 off in time. Meanwhile, in the back line, again, just maneuvering, kind of screening out these Illyrian Reavers. I'm going to see if we can't catch them with some of these Reiksguards. So I'm maneuvering in such a way that I'm trying to box them in this corner so they don't really have a way to escape, and then we can get on top of them with the Reiksguard. Luminarch pulling up for a single shot, so let's see how it does. Going to blast straight through the lines of the elves, go all the way through, and actually hit that High Mage. So even though we only got the 1 shot off, it was a decent shot. Definitely not cost effective though. This is a very expensive artillery piece, and a very good job by my opponent taking it out. That being said, the Hammer of Witches is doing a lot more work here. 64 kills on and climbing, and that's mostly against relatively elite High Elf infantry here. So, ooh, another cannon shot right to the dome, and a very, very rough stuff. This High Mage is definitely suffering now. We're trying to target her down first to take out my opponent's healing. He's pulled up in range now and is unloading. Unfortunately, Sisters of Avalorn shooting at State Troop Spearmen, although they will definitely take them out and give them a good light show. It's definitely not a cost-effective use of their ammunition by any stretch. State Troop Spearmen are a very cheap unit, and these guys would be much better served using their ammo on things like the Reichsguard. But we are going to start moving in. Volkmar himself does have missile and magic resistance when he's up on the cart, so I wasn't too worried about him getting shot up here. He has a 55% total mitigation there between the two. And yeah, State Troops going to be charging in. You can see White Lions coming to meet them in the front, and then we're going to be following up with the Reichsguard. Over on this side, Reichsguard, oh, ooh, way too far, already charging in on these White Lions here, and Volkmar are going to be pushing up as well. You can see in the back line we were able to catch one of those units of Illyrian Reavers, now going to be bringing those Reichsguard up to the front line engagement. Meanwhile, Volkmar moving up, getting ready to unleash a couple banishments here. We're trying to force a couple good blobs. One of them has formed right here. We've got these White Lions and these Spearmen fighting these Reichsguard. We've also got some State Troop Spearmen fighting in here as well. So we're going to get in here and use the Light Wizard to unleash a banishment in this pocket. Just going to do a devastating amount of damage, and man, that banishment on the snow looks super cool. And then Volkmar also unleashing his banishment here on the Pure Company, and then as these units try and flee away, it could potentially get on top of them. It does look like, oh man, that banishment's going to come right on top of these Sisters of Avalorn. Oh, it looked like it might. Actually just glancing the edge of the unit and now sucking up quite a few of them, so I ended up doing a ton of damage, kind of sat on top of them for a minute there. Likewise, this pocket was broken up by the other banishment. You can see my opponent's Illyrian Reavers are getting into the back line here. They're going to get into the chicken coop, so to speak, and get on these these silver bullets. It was a little late on my net, but we are going to drop a net now here and then pull back. Meanwhile, another unit of Illyrian Reavers that had regrouped going to get in on this Hammer of Witches and shut it down. That being said, it's already racked up 93 kills, definitely paid for itself. With the net on these Illyrian Reavers, they are going to get routed off. This Light Wizard in here just spanking them. Meanwhile, the Reichsguard are collapsing the backline. You can see just rampaging around, silencing the Sisters of Avalorn and getting in on the Handmaiden and Alith Anar. The Spearmen and the Pure Company definitely suffering here, although the Pure Company and the Spearmen together will normally do pretty well against the Zintler's Reichsguard, but the Terror from Volkmar also kicking in, because of course he does cause terror up on his pimp cart, and at this point things are looking pretty rough for the High Elves. Empire's pushing through. A lot of their units are routing off at this point. Some nice work being done in the backline by those Illyrian Reavers, but it's not going to be enough. We've got the Templehof back from routing. We've got the Hammer of Witches artillery crew also back from routing. Most pockets were winning out. There's just a few pockets of high elf resistance here. There's some White Lions fighting and some Spearmen who are about to learn the meaning of pain as they get just alpha strike by Volkmar, and then we're going to follow up with these Reichsguard here. So although Spearmen, of course, have a bracing bonus and an anti-large bonus, when their bracing bonus is broken like this, they do only have 40 armor at the end of the day, so they'll take a lot of shock damage from these Reichsguard. We're going to be bringing in one more unit from the side here just to finish things off, so a beautiful charge from the side with those Reichsguard. We'll be finishing off those High Elf Spearmen, and then immediately coming and collapsing on these White Lions here. So beautiful stuff. Very fun cinematic battle. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching. Ooh, it looks like a light show. Alith Anar still trying to loose some shots there, but at this point he decides he's going to slink back to Nagaraith for another try. So very well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Yeah, definitely Volkmar and that Light Wizard there showing the power of the double banishment. Banishment's just such a strong vortex spell. The Light Wizard himself is able to rack up 100 kills over the course of the battle with that banishment. Very good stuff. Volkmar himself also getting 81, 93 on the Hammer of Witches, 87 in an XP Chevron for this Reichsguard, 74 and 36. So all the Reichsguard did pretty well. Silver Bullets weren't really called on to do too much. They were more here to counter Dragon Princes, just in case my opponent had brought a unit or two. I wanted to have those magic bullets to be able to deal with them. Likewise, Hammer of Witches, same thing. Hammer of Witches ended up doing some good work, but the Silver Bullets weren't really asked to do too much. They did do a little bit of work in the back line there, but for my opponent, did a great job taking out that Templehof Luminarch early on, but his tight, dense formation just made him very vulnerable to the Hammer of Witches, and then losing out the Illyrian Reavers was pretty tough. He probably was hoping to get on my ranged units with that. That definitely would have helped. Sisters of Avalorn did okay. I would have liked to have seen them target these Reichsguard instead, But yeah, personally, if I were to remake my opponent's build here, I'd probably cut these 2 white lions and maybe go with a bit of a wider army. If you cut those 2 white lions, of course I say wider, one thing I also may do is cut these 2 white lions and upgrade these Illyrian Reavers to, like, Dragon Princess, for example. And then also, the Handmaiden's alright. I don't know that she's amazing in this matchup, but I might cut her and go with some more Spearmen, or maybe get the Illyrian Reaver Archer Regiment of Renown. They're very strong. There's quite a few different ways you could go in this matchup. It's still a matchup I'm kind of getting to know a little bit, but let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this Volkmar versus Alith Anar showcase. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, all that jazz. Thank you very much for watching once again, and we'll see you next time.